All right. All right. Let me get right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. What is good? What is good? What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, you know who I is, the good doc, Dr. Mike. Back again, once again, with another classic live stream for you guys today. Sincerely hope everybody's having a blessed one. Doc's having a great one. Official time check, 11 p.m. in the Philippines, which makes it about 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Somewhere around 8 a.m. for everybody repping out West Coast and about 10 a.m. for everybody repping Central. Wherever you're reporting in the world today, thank you for coming through and showing love to the good doc. You guys could have been anywhere in the world today, but you chose to spend some time with me, and I'm happy about that. So I don't actually see how many people are watching right now, but I appreciate all of you guys coming through. Just wanted to spend some time with you guys on this beautiful Sunday morning, Sunday evening for myself, and I hope that you guys are well. Doc's got him a nice little drink with him real quick, just to, set the mood and just have a good evening tonight, all right? Just wanted to have some fun with you guys because I've been thinking long and hard about this particular topic. And I've also wanted to discuss this one because I think this one is something that we haven't really touched on in a while. I mean, it does kind of have a reverence or a little of a relation to the previous topic that I did in reference to Filipino YouTubers. But when we're talking about Filipinas in general, I kind of feel like if you can't get any while you're in the Philippines, then something must be wrong. All right, let me say that one more time. If you can't get any in the Philippines, then something must be wrong. Now, a lot of people are going to say, Doc, yeah, something's wrong with the person. But sometimes we can go as far as to say, yeah, maybe they're ill-equipped to handle the task of dealing with Filipinas. Maybe they just have these preconceived notions that put them in a very, very rough situation when it comes to dealing with Filipinas. Maybe their first time around, things don't go well, things go extremely wrong, and then after that, they kind of blame everybody else for something that was initially not even the girl's fault in the beginning. But ultimately, when I talk about this, I don't feel like there's something wrong with the person. I feel like there's something wrong with the situation. All right? When I say that there's something wrong with the situation, if things aren't going right for you in a particular area in the Philippines, sometimes you need to move. Sometimes you need a fresh start. Sometimes that's all it takes for you to be able to accomplish your goals that you set out to accomplish. Now, a fresh start can be helpful and beneficial to a lot of us, man. I mean, shit. When I first got here, I didn't get it right the first time. I took my time to get it right. And again, what can I say? I mean, it worked itself out, and luckily for me, I had time. But if you don't have the time and you feel like situations aren't going your way, I kind of feel like it's in your best interest to bust the move and go somewhere else. Why not? Sometimes it has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that none of these girls want you or all of these girls are scammers. However you slice it, whatever you say, at the end of the day, sometimes it just has to deal with certain situations. Sometimes you find yourself in fucked up situations because you allow yourself to be there. Okay, let's talk about that in its essence. Sometimes you allow yourself to be in these messed up situations. So if you can't get any in the Philippines, then something must be wrong. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with you. Sometimes it is you. Sometimes we do fuck up as foreigners from many different aspects. Sometimes it's the lady's fault. But when I say that there's something wrong and it's an easy fix, then why don't you just fix it? A lot of people will probably be like, Doc, what you talk about? 9 times out of 10, when relationships mess up, I feel like it's the foreigner's fault. And a lot of people are probably going to take this the wrong way. But when relationships between the foreigner and the Filipino mess up, it's the foreigner's fault. It's our fault. I'll include myself in that because I'm a foreigner. It's our fault, guys. And people will be like, Doc, that's pushing it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes these Filipinos be fucking up on us, man. Sometimes they be screwing us over, man. So how can you say it's the foreigner's fault? At the end of the day, what you allow them to get away with is what they will continue to do. That's how it's our fault. if you allow them to ask for everything and you give them everything, that's not their fault for asking. It's your fault for giving. When you've failed to implement the word no, N-O, in your vocabulary, that puts us in a deficit when dealing with Filipinas, simply because you feel like the only way that you're going to keep this girl is by saying yes. So again, if you can't get any in the Philippines, then something must be wrong. You have to look at you first before you go out there blaming everybody else for something that may or may not have been your fault. Now, if you go out there and the Filipina cheats on you, she's got an extra boyfriend and a relationship with somebody else, whatever it may be, that may be the exception to the rule. But even in that particular instance, you got to look at yourself. You got to look at yourself and try to figure out, how did I allow this to happen and what I could do to fix it? Now, your average foreigner, in order to fix these particular topics and situations, they resort to whoremongering. I'm just going to say the word. They resort to whoremongering. Y'all know what that is. In biblical terms, that was when guys seek out prostitutes. Okay? Most of them go for that because it's easy. It's straight to the point. And you're not worried about being in relationships. I could tell you a guy right now on YouTube who told his story. Right? Everybody knows what happened between him and a Filipina before. And you see the way he acts online now. Like, you see the videos that people post and shit. You know, all you about is getting yours and getting ghosts, man. And I'm not mad at you for doing it, because sometimes certain situations happen to us as foreigners wherein we got to analyze what the fuck happened, how we can make it right, how we can fix it, and do better for ourselves. And if doing better for yourself simply means being single, getting as many girls as you possibly can in the Philippines, and doing it in a way that showboats yourself into a fashion to where you feel like you are the shit and that makes you feel good about you, who am I to say that you're wrong? But at the end of the day, there are so many different aspects that you could take to this particular situation. But I also know that if you look at most of these videos online where foreigners talk about getting scammed, foreigners talk about getting taken advantage of, etc., nobody seems to place the blame on themselves in these particular videos. I know that if I fuck up, I'm not afraid to tell y'all shit, because I'm human. I fuck up all the time. I'm not perfect. Good dog is far from perfect. But at the end of the day, I accept where I messed up at, because you ain't got no choice. So if you dealing with a woman and a woman fucks up on you and you're not getting any in that relationship because you've allowed her to run this game on you that is particularly advanced, probably too advanced for your mind to comprehend, I should say. Because a lot of game these women run, you know it when you see it. But if she ain't giving you none, then there's got to be something wrong with that. But what I'm trying to say in hindsight is this. You have to be able to accept fault for yourself first. And then extract yourself from the situation. Take yourself out of the situation. Like I said, if you can't get any in the Philippines, then something must be wrong. Maybe there's something wrong with you. Maybe there's something wrong with her, or maybe there's just something wrong with the situation. Like I said, extract yourself from the situation. If shit ain't going your way, move on. It ain't that hard. Problem is, we got a lot of guys who come to the Philippines and fall for the first girl that says hi to them. The first girl that gives them even the slightest bit of attention. Then they get into a relationship with this girl. Then all of a sudden they start to get eyes from everybody else. Like, when you're the foreigner, you get looked at. I mean, whether it's a good look or a bad look, you get looked at, right? Because you the newbie, you the fresh face, you the unique brand. You're something other than Filipino, basically. So now you're walking around with this girl that you kind of don't like. Now you feel like you're trapped. I've never met a guy who felt this way, but at the end of the day, they kind of feel guilty if they leave him because this was the girl that showed them some love when they first came around. So they're afraid to get out of the situation for God knows whatever reason. And they end up miserable. Or they get into a relationship. It's a longer relationship. And at the end of the day, if shit don't go right, they feel like they have to stay in that situation simply because of whatever reason that they deem it necessary to stay around. Maybe they feel like they can't get anybody else. You know, you have foreigners who really have a simple-minded thought process when it comes to dealing with Filipinos. I myself, I've been in situations that I fucking hated. And if I hated them, I just said, fuck it, man. I can't deal with this shit. I just couldn't. And at that time, I was young, man, 18 years old, man. When you're in high school, I think many of you guys know this. Even if you weren't the type to date around in high school, you knew the guys that dated around in high school, man. You could go through a relationship in high school once, like, every other day. Like, you be in a relationship with one girl 1 week, and next week you with somebody else, right? The Philippines is almost like high school. The way many of these guys act like bitches when they banter back and forth online. I'm not going to get into that, but you have a bunch of guys bantering back and forth like a bunch of little bitches. It's like high school all over again. And I feel like guys, foreigners, whoever engage in such content or whoever engages in such topics of conversation, it's more of a regression. Those are the guys that you find in said situations between where they just can't get out of whatever the fuck they're into, you know? So I say that to say this, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes you just need to extract yourself out of the situation. If you can't get any in the Philippines, you just got to take yourself out of the situation. Whether you like it or not, sometimes shit just ain't for you, bro. Sometimes it ain't for you. I met a lot of people who couldn't stand who they're with, but won't leave who they're with. Met a lot of guys who can't let go of certain situations because they feel an obligation to be there. You know, they can't let go of certain situations because they feel the obligation to be there. Then we've dealt with situations with scammers, girls scamming you before you even get here, the online relationships. I mean, when all of this shit happens, I still say you got to look at self first, man. A lot of people don't like that terminology. A lot of people don't like that thought process, but it's the truth. You got to look at you. Got to look at you and realize where you fucked up so that you know next time around it ain't going to happen. And instead of bitching and moaning about hating Filipinos because of something that happened, you know, try to find a way to check else. Because there's been a lot of hateful videos. There's been a lot of positive videos dealing with Filipinos. But ultimately, I think that your best bet is just to extract yourself from the situation. And that's just a good doc's point of view for the moment. You know, if you can't get any in the Philippines, move on, man. I think that if you can, it's in your best interest to change landscapes or to change locations when making said moves, especially if it's something where everybody knows you or everybody knows the girl that you were with. Sometimes it's better for you to just change situations, like change locations. Why? Especially when things end bad, just move. Find you a nice little place, a nice little setup. Get yourself started again where nobody knows you, because not everybody in the Philippines knows you. Get to a new location and kick it, man. Start all over again. Everybody deserves a fresh start. No different than us in the United States who've been divorced and child support and alimony and all of that shit. Most men need a fresh start. That's why they come to the Philippines, or that's why they choose to date women abroad. They said, fuck that. I'm no longer interested in dating women where I'm from because of the stuff that I've been through with these women. So all I want to do is start over fresh with somebody new. All right. So that's the reason why most men choose to change locations in the first place. So if that's your case in point, don't be afraid to move if you got to move. Don't lock yourself into anything, but, you know, feel free to get around when you need to, you know, get in where you fit in. That's the best way for me to put it. If you remember the story that, I can't remember who said the story. I know Jay, Black American Expat, talked about this. Nah, it's not a premiere, man. I'm just talking. My bad. I'll get to the comment section in a minute. It's not a premiere. I'm here. But, shit, what was I saying? Train of thought. Oh, there was a video, right, where old boy was like, shit, I forgot who it was. I know my boy Jay talked about it, but I think that video came out on somebody else's channel where old boy sent this girl $2,000 to set up a place for him to rent, and when he got here, he didn't have a place to stay. That's just stupidity at its finest. You understand? That's you. That ain't her. That's you. You gonna send money to a girl you never met to try to set up a place for you that you don't even know this girl like that, just because you've been talking to her online. Took all your money, ran. Most of these females use, or most of the people in the Philippines use prepaid numbers, so it's not like you can trace it. All she gotta do is throw that SIM card away to get another one. So it's not like you can trace her online unless you're like some tech genius or some shit. So basically, you just SOL. Gotta charge that shit to the game and keep it moving, man. Best time to get right, man. Best time to get right. Let me talk to my people, man. I see we got 26 watching. I'm just blabbering. I'm sorry, guys. I just wanted to get my thoughts out first before I run to the comment section. See what you guys think, of course. Make sure you get the likes up on this video. Definitely make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel. Check the links in the description area below. All of my ebooks should be there. The Teespring tees, everything that you need in reference to the good doc. BOOTYLOO Chronicles, the best book of all time, ever. I don't care what anybody says. Mikethepiguide Quick Guide, First Timers to the Philippines. Prescription for Dating Filipino Women. Link in the description area below. Check those books out if you haven't already. Like I said, if you guys want to support the channel, please feel free to do so. But of course, the good doc is happy that you come through. Spend just a little bit of time with him today. You know, now and then. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. And I see we got about 24 watching. I appreciate all 24 of you coming through and showing that love. My man, Akeem James, what's good with you, man? I hope that you do find the person that could help you find a nice little location. Maybe in Davao, you can find yourself that agent you're looking for. I know you're thinking about settling down. I know we talked about this. I ain't putting your business out there, but what I do encourage is to like rent a couple of places to find out the location in which you feel is the one that's best for you. Like for me, I'm skeptical about buying property. After I've watched like 100 videos on why you should never buy a house, I've been watching these videos all day today, and I don't know what inspired me to watch this shit, but you know, they were talking about renting versus you know, home ownership, and they were telling you why you should rent more than own a home. You know, all of the taxes you pay at the end of the year, you got to sit on that bitch for a number of years if nobody wants to buy it, you know, stuff like that. So I've kind of been into renting a little bit lately. That seems to where my mind wants to go. But if you're looking for a nice investor, or not an investor, but I'm sorry, a real estate agent or something like that, definitely try my best to help you out. Pedro, I'll see you in the building, family. If you find your way to Davao City, you know you got to reach out to the good doc, all right? My man Serge, man, long time no see, brother. Good to see you in the building. Thank you for coming back. You made it 2 days in a row. I hope that life is treating you well. My man Terry Edwards, I say, Terry Edwards, man. You gonna say get anywhere? What you think, bro? What you think? You ain't gotta scratch. You ain't gotta scratch your chin on that, man. I think you pick up what the good doc's putting down. For sure, man. Mr. Wonderful, I see you in the building, family. Thank you for showing some love. Hank, what's good, man? He says, yeah, I'm not gonna read that, but for sure, man. Anybody can get them some, but if you can't, something must be wrong. Gotta look at self. Remember that. If things aren't going right in the Philippines, man, you gotta look at self first. My man Frederick Mason, all the way from the great state of North Carolina, man. What's good with you, bro? Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you showing love to the good doc. Guys, make sure y'all get the likes up on this video. Can somebody give me a like, dislike counter, please? There were some people who actually hated the stream the other day when I was talking about Filipino YouTubers. As far as I know, I got like 7 dislikes on that video. I kind of feel like the people who disliked that video were probably the ones that are donating. Probably behind the scenes, they're murmuring under their breath, talking about, well, it shouldn't matter what I do with my money. I could do whatever I want to with my money. So if I want to donate to this person's channel, I could donate to them if I want to. Yeah, good. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you do that, bro. You do that. AJ, man, what's good with you, bro? He says, you mentioned setting boundaries around money without basic skepticism from a foreigner. They are perfect targets to get scammed. I think that, I mean, the best way to set boundaries or parameters around your money is to never let anybody know how much money you have. I mean, let's be honest. If you want to set parameters around your money, don't let them know how much money you have. Like I would say that you can let the Filipina know if this is a fresh situation or whatever it is, something you may consider to be a long-term thing. In the beginning, you can just tell her, look, I'm on a set income. I make X amount every week. This is all that I have. This is all the money that I have coming in every month. This is it for me. I'm not rich. This is all I got. So we can either work with it or you can get ghost. You know, Serge, man, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for that. But yeah, that's the type of shit that I'm talking about, man. And sometimes you got to set boundaries and parameters around your money. You can't let people know what you got. I mean, we've talked about this before. We'll talk about it again. A lot of people have discussed this topic about not letting people in on your financial situation. I know I'm broke. My girl knows I'm broke. I don't try to hide it. I don't try to sugarcoat it. I just tell you straight up, Doc ain't got money like that. Because at the end of the day, it's the truth. Like, I don't have to give a specific number on how broke I am. If I say I'm broke, that just means I'm broke. You feel me? Broke doesn't necessarily mean $0, but it means something. So again, like I say, when you put parameters around your money, especially when dealing with Filipinas, my best bet for you is to never let them know how much money you have. But if you feel an obligation to, one way or another, come out, if this is something that is serious, something that you consider to be a long-term thing, you can lie to, I say lie to them, I don't care. Tell them you make a certain amount of money every month, and that's it. Nobody needs to know what extra money you have, you know, because again, this isn't your wife yet, you know, so at the end of the day, you can tell them I make X amount a month. That's all I got going for me, which basically means that's all that I have going for us. So if she's aware of that, she can figure out what to do with it. I mean, the way that I see it is, if you dealing with a young lady and you want to be serious with her and you tell her that you only bring in $400 a month, she'll do the math in her head and say that's about 20,000 pesos. All right. And she might be able to help you manage that 20,000. I've known some girls that can help budget your shit very well when you don't have a lot of money. And that works. When they help you budget your shit, I mean, that could also be a benefit to the situation as well. When you tell a woman how much money you have, if it gets to that point, I say it should never get to that point, but when it gets to that point, how she handles that will definitely determine if she's a keeper or if she must be let go. If she's going to sit there and try to find ways to help you save that money, find ways to help you manage it the best you know how, she's like, oi, why are you buying that when you already know that you only have 20,000? Why are you going to buy this? Why are you going to buy that? If she's that type and she's thinking about your financial wealth or financial health, I should say, in that particular aspect, I think that works to a man's benefit. You definitely want somebody who's going to keep you down to earth and keep you humble. Now, if you are the type of guy who has a lot of money, and I want to shout out my dude. I hope he's here. I don't see him in the building yet, but I want to shout out Oahu dude because I like him. He says a lot. I'm gonna get to the chat in a minute. Let me get out this last thought, and then I'll read your comments, guys. I'm live, baby, live and direct. I'm here, baby. Don't worry about it. I got you. Oahu dude. Shout out to him, and I hope that he watches this on the playback. He is a person that is financially independent. He's mentioned that on time and time again. Definitely a financial independent person. So he has money. He feels like because I have this money, I should be able to spend it how I want to. But he feels that now I'm not going to channel him verbatim, okay? Because I'm not going to say these are the words that come out of his mouth. But the way that I hear it, he's like, I have this money. I want to spend this money the best way that I know how. And that's me being comfortable and me being happy. But for a woman to see me spending the money the way that I do, she is automatically likely to find out, figure out, put two and two together and realize that I may be more financially comfortable than I may have let her on to believe that I am. So I say to that, you should never, ever sacrifice anything for yourself, but you should definitely be careful to how much you reveal to your Filipina. So if you're the type of person that loves fine dining, if you're the type of person that loves good eats and you're happy going to these restaurants, I say go by yourself. The girl shouldn't be with you 24/7 to where she's literally seeing you go to all of these places or you're taking her to all of these places. Why don't you scale back, chill a minute, enjoy shit for yourself, but when you're with this girl, take her to a normal spot. Take her to a location that is, you know, an average place. I like Jollibee and McDo, man. You got to stick to your fast foods in the beginning, and then you can graduate into something a little bit better once the relationship goes on, okay? But that's as it pertains to actually revealing your financial situation. If it ever gets to that point, I say it shouldn't early on. It takes time to get that far. But yeah, you have to put boundaries and parameters around your financial situation. AJ, thank you for that. God damn it, I talk too much. Okay, I'm sorry. My man Chris from Texas, Christopher TX, man, he said, what's a good amount of savings to have before coming to the Philippines? My best answer to that will always be at least 6 months. A lot of people don't understand. A lot of people don't understand the idea around being financially fit for at least 6 months. Financially fit for me for at least 6 months means exactly this. You have enough money to cover your average expenses on a monthly basis for at least 6 months, and also enough to cover emergencies just in case emergencies happen. So, like I say, at least 6 months. I don't know your spending habits. I know my own spending habits. So I know how much money I would need per month, times that by 6. And that's how much money I would want to have before I truly decide to settle here in the Philippines. But I also have to make sure that there is income continuously coming in. Always make sure that you have money coming in one way or another. But a good amount of savings is at least 3 to 6. I'll say 3 if you're really itching to get your ass to the Philippines. I would say 3, but I would say at least 3 to 6 just to be healthy. All right, 3 to 6. My man NY Mets fan, what's good with you, bro? Appreciate you coming through. My man Jason Harris says this makes Filipinas seem very manipulative. I mean, foreigners are manipulative too, man. I mean, no matter how you slice it, you have to look at self, my friend. We all have our fuck ups, include me. I think that you should always look at yourself first when situations go wrong. And I'm not saying that it's the Filipinos' fault. I'm not saying that it's your fault. I'm just saying you got to look at yourself first, see where you fucked up before you start throwing the blame at the chick. Because 9 times out of 10, when the relationship fails, it's because it's the foreigner's fault. And I say that only because I'm only saying that for one reason, because the situation can only go the way that you allow it to go. Okay? If you allow your Filipina to run the relationship, that's on you, my friend. If you allow your Filipina to get everything that she asks for and desires, that's on you. You are the master of your domain, ladies and gentlemen. If you are the primary breadwinner, you're doing your thing. You kind of dictate how the relationship should go. Now, if your female has all the money, hell, then fuck it. You better be a Mitch. You better be a little man bitch and sit in the corner and be a good boy. If your Filipina makes more money than you and she's bringing it in, be a good boy, chill in the corner, and do right. That's all I can tell you. Because at the end of the day, why would you want to fuck that up? If you don't have to do anything, and she making the money, I say be a good little boy and stay in your corner. That's all I'm gonna tell you. But if you think that this makes Filipina sound manipulative, then so be it. I mean, they have a level of street smarts that a lot of foreigners overlook. And for those that don't overlook the fact that Filipinos are very, very wise and street smart, they know the game. They know the games that some play. Not saying it's all of them. You got some good ones. Some of them don't run game on you because they don't need to. Matter of fact, half of them don't even want us in the first place. I know I'm just talking shit, but I mean, there are a majority of Filipinos that don't really care to be with foreigners, and I've seen a couple of them. And the ones that don't care to be with us are the ones that have their own financial independence, the ones that can do for themselves. I'm talking about the ones that the upper echelon. That's what I'll say. But let me feel free to say that there are very, very good Filipinas that are not after your money. Some of them definitely are just there because they want to be there. Okay? Let me not overstate the facts. All right? Some of them are there because they want to be here. Best thing for me to say. My man Reginald Dollar, call him Reggie Dollars in the building. Shout out to my boy Reggie Dollars. He says, yeah, you know it's Reggie Dollars, man. He says, just hollering, we'll check the video later. Hey, man, much love to you. My man Lemco Yonk. He said, I love the music from the taxi ride at the Davao Mall Road. Bro, that was my favorite video to shoot. I kid you not. That was my favorite video to shoot. That was a good track, though, man. Shout out to my boy Lakey Inspired. If you guys read the link in the description, he was the one that provided the music for that video. Very, very, very good. He's a great music producer. I love his music, so I appreciate you loving that video. A lot of people like that video. Now, some people wanted to criticize Doc. They was like, man, you only showed 3 out of the 4, man. Where's the 4th one? The 4th one was SM Lanang, people. At the time, I was just going to my Airbnb, so I only got to see G Mall, Victoria Plaza, and Abriza. The 4th one on Malls Row is, of course, SM Lanang. And you guys seen what SM Lanang looks like. But literally, that's 4 malls on one street. Just keep straight. You're running to all 4 malls. Not to mention that they do have SM Davao and also JS Gazana Mall, which isn't really a mall. But yeah, those were the ones that were not included in that video, okay? I have no idea. Is that Kwelang? Makulit? I knew I was going to fuck that up. But no, man, it's not a premiere, man. I'm here. He said that R&B was classic, my man. He said the Bees. I said I need a full song. That's a great, great, great. If you email me, man, and you remind me, I'll give you the full track. I'll find it and I'll email it to you, or I'll give you the link so that you can get the full track for that. But actually, it played all the way through, like about 3 minutes into the video. It actually ended, and then I repeated it. So, yeah, you're good. Appreciate you coming through from the Philippines, man. He says, "Where am I now? Manila, bruh." Jason Harris says, he said, I have my trip planned already, and the last thing I have to do is reserve an Airbnb. Should I reserve the apartment for less than 2 weeks just in case, or is a month okay just in case there is a situation? Okay, that's a great question, all right? I don't know how I'm going to tie this into if you can't get any in the Philippines, then something is wrong. So let me say that if you can't find you a decent place in the Philippines, something is wrong. Fucking with you. Let's see. How can I say this? That is $1 million question. You know what? I've tried to book an Airbnb for a month. Bad idea. Bad idea. The reason why it's a bad idea is because once you book over a month, some places charge you the water and the electric separate from the amount that's listed on the Airbnb. You'll even read it. For people staying a month or more, this is the price. And they'll set the, like when you set it for like 30 days in the month that you're going to stay, if you set it for over 30 days, you'll see this is the price per month. But if you look at some of the description area, they'll say for people staying longer than a month, electric and water and certain things like the gas or the electric bill, whatever it may be, some of those things may be charged separately. So I would say give yourself 2 weeks. And if you're comfortable in the place or you like it, after you stayed for about a couple of days and you look online and it's still vacant, book it for another 2 weeks. It's going to be more expensive. Yes. I will say that it's going to be more expensive because once you book it twice, they're going to charge you the service charges and the cleaning fees or whatever is involved with the charge. They're going to charge it to you twice. But ultimately, it keeps you from having to pay that electric bill and that water bill or whatever they try to charge you as the extra for staying for 1 month. Because again, that place is going to be yours for a month. So all of the electricity, the whole nine, you're using and consuming that. That's why they feel like they're obligated or they have the right to actually charge you for it. So give yourself 2 weeks. If you like it, then extend the booking for another 2 weeks. But if you're actually looking to stay and you're looking for a long-term thing, you got to go out there and find those, man. Those apartments, you got to look for the for rent signs or whatever you want to call it and go check them out. Best thing I can tell you. Sean Walters, what's good with you, bro? All the way from, he said, are you still in Cebu? Nah, man. Nah. He says, can you speak Filipino? Konti lang. If you're talking about Bisayan, gamay lang. I speak very little. I understand enough, depending on the situation and the scenario. I can understand it, but if you ask me to articulate my Bisayan or my Tagalog back to you, it comes out in a weird foreign way. Some girls find it cute, so I'll use that to my advantage, okay? Anywho, he says, man, I get play from Filipinas in the States. If you can't get any in the Philippines, something is definitely wrong. Doc's drinking a San Mig, man. That's all. I'm just thirsty. Like I said, Serge, man, much love to you, bro. Thanks for that. My man Malcolm says, close I got to Pacific Islander was a Samoan chick, but but she was cool with it. All right. He says, I just say I make enough to travel and be completely comfortable. I like that. That is very basic, very general. Can't really fuck that up. But yeah, man, shout out to my boy Serge in France, man. I've never been to Paris. I don't know if you've ever been to the Philippines, man, but you need to get over here, bro. I'll buy you a drink. Drinks are on me, man. My man Casey says you have to be creative how much you divulge information about money. True. When you tell a Filipina how much you have, that's a big no-no. True. I would never divulge a specific amount in the beginning of a relationship about how much money I make. Now, when it comes time to processing visas and stuff like that, I think they're required to know, because I think the embassy asked that question and it's like provided on documentation and stuff like that. So only when it gets to that point does it really matter the amount of money that's made. True. Terry says, if a Filipina with me, Jollibee or McDo's and upscale. I love Jollibee, man. I don't care what anybody says, man. Jollibee serves its purpose, man. McDonald's most definitely highly recommended because it's a nice, cheap place to eat and it's good. I mean, shit, I enjoy it. Matter of fact, McDonald's here, you can kill me if you want to, but McDonald's here got better chicken nuggets than the McDonald's in the United States. It was all full and meaty and shit. I was like, this is kind of weird. Now, is it real meat? Probably not. But I enjoy the chicken nuggets in the Philippines, man. All right, let me move on real quick. He said save 10 bands for 6 months. Yes, save about 10 grand for about 6 months. That seems fair enough. I think that is a fair amount. Shout out to my boy, Mr. World Traveler, the homie BGC Mike's back in the building. Make sure you guys show love to my man Mike. Mike is like a brother to me. Kicking it with him is something else, man. All I'm going to tell you. Hanging out with my friend Mike is something else. BGC Mike in the building, people. My man AJ says, Doc, about getting noting. He said about getting what? Notice in the Philippines. I was at Ayala, Cebu, and saw 3 expats all sitting alone like fish out of water. He says some simply have no game to catch anything except the cold. Now that's mean, but sometimes if you feel like you're lacking in the verbal communication with females, that is the only time that I can actually say, man, just go to the bar, man. Again, the purpose of this video was simple, okay? If you can't get any in the Philippines, then something must be wrong. I mean, your last resort should be going to the bar scene and kicking it in that particular landscape or area or certain district. But case in point is this. If that's your thing, if that's what you feel you need to do to get you some, so be it. At the end of the day, that's you, bro. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and tell you what to do and what not to do. This is your vacation, not mine. All I can do is just, guide you and say, look, man, I think that you will be better off attempting to do something else as opposed to resorting to just this. But if those 3 guys sitting in the mall weren't getting any, then chances are you're probably going to find them at your nearest red light district. No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. Terry Edwards, not yet, bruh. Not yet. My man Malcolm says, I wouldn't get too comfortable in a bar, but use it as practice, I suppose. I can see that. Honestly, if you want to practice your game, what better girl to practice on than a bar girl? Think about it. What better girl to practice on than a bar girl? She's never going to turn you down, likely, because she's not going to turn down the money. Whether your jokes are corny, she'll at least laugh. And at the end of the day, why do I keep saying that? I do keep saying at the end of the day a lot. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop saying that. But how can I say this? Even if they laugh at your corny jokes, I kind of feel like it would help boost your confidence, all right? To talk to women. I don't really see a problem using the bar scene as a training ground or a practice for building up confidence in verbal communication with females, okay? I don't want you to get too comfortable there. I don't want you to make a second home there. I don't want it to come your go-to spot, if that makes sense. I don't want it to get that far. But we can only say but so much before guys are going to make their own decisions, okay? But yeah, I wouldn't get too comfortable myself, but I do see positivity in using it as a practice ground. If you need to find a way to talk, because females are naturally going to come and talk to you. Let's be honest. When you go to the bar, they're going to come and sit down right next to you. Like, it doesn't matter. One of the girls in the bar is going to come and sit down next to you. And the reason that is because they're trying to get you to buy that girl a lady drink to bring more money to the bar. So they're going to ask that girl or push that girl, whoever she is, to come sit down next to you. If you don't want that girl to sit down next to you, all you have to do is say, no, thank you. And then what they'll do is, or you can say, can you send your friend over here? Or go tell your friend that I said hi. Tell her she can come sit next to me. Buy the girl a drink, that expensive ass drink, 500 pesos for a lady drink or something like that. Have your conversation if you feel that's what it takes. All right. My man Eyes On says, I got 28 watching. It's about 23 now. 14 likes and 1 dislike. Guys, make sure you get the likes up for the good doc. I would highly appreciate that. Let me go ahead and take my time to say thank you for everybody coming through and showing love to the good doc. Please make sure you get the likes on the video. Please feel free to caress, molest, and de-stress yourself all over that like button. It wants it. It needs it. It most definitely has to have it. That is the reason why it's called the like button. Promise you, it will not press charges, and neither will the good doc. All right? And, of course, for those that want to support the channel, please feel free to do so. But, of course, the good doc is happy that you come through. Spend just a little bit of your time with him today. Now let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming. I've been saying that shit so long, man. It's become robotic. All right, I'm good. My man Casey says, most are willing to give you some just because you're a foreigner. They think foreigners are gold mines. Yes. That transcends race, too. That transcends race. It doesn't matter if you're black, doesn't matter if you're white, doesn't matter if you're European, doesn't matter where you come from. Most Filipinas have an idea that foreigners are rich, or at least they have money. And I think that simply comes from the fact that they had to spend a lot of money to come to the Philippines. Or they believe that a plane ticket from the United States or a plane ticket from Australia or a plane ticket from London cost a lot of money to be here. So if you didn't have money, how could you afford the plane ticket for you to get here? I think that's kind of where the thought process comes from. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should ask a Filipina, and we'll figure that out. But I kind of feel like that's where it comes from. If you got the money to travel here, then you must have something. And you can't really deny that. It does seem to be that way. It does seem to be that way. You can't have or spend $1,000 on a plane ticket or $500 on a plane ticket or whatever, and people don't believe that you have something to at least maintain while you're here. So, but like I said, man, all you have to do is tell her the truth. I saved up that money for me to come over here. I just saved it up. That's my savings or whatever. My man Malcolm says, I've seen a couple of expats sitting in Jollibee and McDo at SM Mall in Angeles City of all places. Something seemed not right there, and thing is they were older than most of us, but was in okay shape. Now, that's bad. If you look pretty good and you look pretty decent for your age and you're still by yourself, that was probably a personal choice. Maybe that was a personal decision. Maybe they didn't need company at that time. Maybe they wanted to eat by themselves, and maybe they planned to go to the bar scene a little bit later on. My only assumption, not seeing the situation as it unfolded, but if you think something was off, then probably something really was off. But you know how the game goes, man. There's a lot of reasons why people are alone. Maybe they're already broke. Maybe they've already spent their little money. who knows how the game goes. But I mean, there are different reasons why you'll find a foreigner sending them all by themselves. But again, if you can't get any in the Philippines, then something must be wrong. Something must be extremely wrong. Really, really, really wrong. I'm not going to say what is wrong because I am not there and I am not the one analyzing your situation. But if I could see it and I could see it unfold the way that I believe it to be accurate, I could probably pinpoint exactly where things are going to go wrong before they go wrong. Just as a common courtesy, I would love to be able to tell you in advance that the way you're handling said situations with certain females isn't going to end well. And I think many of us know that. My man World Traveler says, all you have to do is just talk. It isn't hard to get some. Just be nice and it will come to you. That is true, man. You just have to talk. But you have to realize that some of these guys are socially awkward. Some men in general are just socially awkward. And where this social awkwardness comes from, hell if I know, man. Maybe not talking to girls where they're from, maybe having bad relationships and swearing off women, the whole red pill movement. You know how the game goes, the whole MGTOW movement. But even then, that doesn't mean that you can't talk to girls because that's your lifestyle. I mean, you have to just, like you said, man, take it one day at a time and just talk. It's easier said than done for most people, though. And that's the scary part. It is easier said than done for most people. We want to believe that it is just as simple as saying hey to a girl, hi to a girl, hello, my name is. And it's that simple. And yeah, it really is that simple. But a lot of guys don't know how to do that. And I don't know how that is. You got all of these pickup coaches and dating coaches out there in the world that will give you that will give you all the game you ever need for 1,000 pesos a month. You got all them people out there that's willing to train you, but you still can't say hi to a female. It's a little skittish, bro. It's crazy. My man says, I've seen expats with literal health problems like a bad limb, joints, etc., just close to broke down. That's bad. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be honest with you. Malcolm, I'm going to be honest with you. If Doc was 100 years old and I was on my last leg, on my last limb, damn near about to kick the bucket. If I was going to kick the bucket, I would want to kick the bucket in the Philippines. Why? Because at least I could go down with a fight, man. At least I could go down happy. You know? At least I will be able to go down in the best way humanly possible. You know what that means? Getting me some, I guess. At least I would want to go out that way. And I think that they feel the Philippines is the best place to do it because it can be done and it can be accomplished relatively cheaper than in other countries. Terry says, I treat the like button like a bar girl. But she wants it, man. I'm telling you. Dude, I'm straight out. I'm sitting here straight pimping my like button. I'm pimping it out. The likes are free, man. It doesn't cost you a thing, baby. Don't worry about it. Trust me. She likes it. Don't worry about it. She likes it. My man Eyes On says, if you're going fishing for a bar girl, just make sure you don't go home with the crabs instead. Bruh. I have no comment on that one. My man Malcolm says, well, even locals that travel from the Philippines know it costs some grip. That it costs them, some money, etc. Yeah, you're right. It truly does. My man Jedi was good with you, man. He says foreigners can't expect to pick up girls if they look really old, fat, and just plain old grandpa material. If you fit that profile, then it's money and money alone they want from you. Yeah. I can't really argue with that fact. It would be very rare. Now, again, there is that slim chance that you can find a girl willing to date you because she genuinely likes you. Maybe you're charismatic. Maybe you might be fat. Maybe you might be old. Maybe you might not be the best looking guy, but maybe you're charismatic. Maybe you have personality. That could make a difference too. But that's a rare occasion. Most times it is, well, he's taking care of me. He's putting me through school, whatever it may be. And that could be one of the many reasons why she would be with you. But yeah, like I said, it could be any number of things, but again, we can never overlook the fact that maybe, just maybe, she's just with that guy because she actually likes that guy. Shout out to my homeboy Earl Owens, man. Much love to my people. Appreciate y'all coming through. Showing love to the good doc. Thank you very much. Doc's here. It's about 11:50. I'll probably give you guys another 10 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and call it. I might watch the third version of Shaft on Netflix after I finish with y'all. Because I told myself I wanted to watch that movie today, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on Netflix a little bit later. My man AJ says, most Philippine women want to latch on to an expat. Okay. You see them locking arms, hands, especially in public. It's hard not to get in. That's funny. I mean, that's true. Most girls will lock arms with you. I mean, and personally, if you want to know the truth, in my personal situation, like if I'm walking with my girl and shit, like I like for us to hold hands in public. I like for a girl to know that, yo, this is me. You know, when we together, that's pretty much how it is. And a lot of people see that shit. And I think people are really, I'm not going to say jealous or weirded out with my relationship, because maybe they are just not aware of how long we've been together. Like, nobody really knows unless they know, unless I've told you, and I've never really divulged that information. Maybe she did, but I never did. Because, like I said, man, we've been together for a long ass time. So when people see us together, like, for example, if she's feeding me, like, if we're at a restaurant and, like, I ask my girl, like, yo, let me get some of your food. And she'll cut off a piece of whatever she's eating and she'll feed it to me. It weirds people out because they're like, damn, they're already that close. Like, they're close enough to where they share plates or they share food with each other. Like, it kind of makes people feel, you know, it makes people look at us a little bit different because they really have no idea of how long it's been going on. So, like, when you see other foreigners with their girls, they just fresh into it, man. They're not yet at that stage, but you look at people and they feel like, damn, these people they're really, really comfortable around each other and shit like that. So it definitely turns heads a minute, you know, but hey, man, we do what we do and it works. So I ain't mad at that game. He says, I feel you, Doc. He said, it's been a while since I've been in the Philippines. I was never more happier in my life. Even though they thought I was Slick Rick, I was still happy. Slick Rick was the shit. He made great music, man. So keep that eye patch moving. And my man had on that gold ass chain, man. Good. I love Slick Rick, man. That man had good music. If it works for you, it works, man. Like I tell people, man, don't be afraid to embellish a little bit. If a Filipina says you look like somebody, so be it. If it's a popular artist or somebody they know, milk it. Just milk it, man. My man Casey says, I don't know because I'm a chunky guy and I always get it in and I'm broke. We are the rarity, my friends. We are the rarity. Chunky broke guys who can still get decent women. Above average women, I should say. But like I said, man, it's just the way that it is. Everybody can find somebody in the Philippines. If these overweight guys, and I mean, I'm a big guy. Like I said, Casey, you chunky, man. I keep it pretty chunky myself. I got to work on it. If us types of men, and this doesn't matter if you're black or white, this is race transcending. It doesn't matter your physical appearance too much. Keep yourself in relatively decent shape. I'm not going to say you could come over here looking like a wide load and everything is still going to fall into your lap. I think that is a common misconception. If you're rich, maybe. But there is somebody for everybody in the Philippines. But I do feel that if you're broke and you're extremely heavyset or extremely overweight, you will have to work a little harder. I think even bar girls will probably deny you. I think they'll be like, nah, man, I may not make it back. He said that motherfucker might try to eat me. You know, you feel me? There may be some bar girls that will even decline you. So you do have to work on yourself first. Again, it goes back to what I said in the beginning of this live stream. If you can't get in the Philippines and something must be wrong, first place you need to look at is self. I do believe that wholeheartedly. First place you need to look at is self. Once you start breaking down and analyzing where you fucked up and not necessarily focusing on what everybody else did wrong, I think you'll be a better person for it and you'll never make that mistake again. You'll never lose out on cash again. And you'll always find yourself getting what you so rightfully deserve. happiness, women, I don't know, maybe even financial success. There's a lot of things that go along with analyzing oneself and making the necessary adjustments to be the greatest of all time again. Terry Edwards, I'm not going to answer that question. If I answer that question and I'm wrong about it, then what do I look like? But apparently he is referring to somebody who's either on YouTube or has been on YouTube before. I state no claims, I lay no blames. I don't know, man. Doc knows nothing about who he's talking about. But at the end of the day, if you see people that you can only, if you see people getting into relationships with other females and you're looking like, damn, how the hell did he get that? If it ain't his looks, if you don't find him charming, you got to figure out what his X factor is. If you really care. Actually, you shouldn't give a fuck. You should worry about yourself. Figure out what your X factor is in dealing with Filipinas, and you'll be good to go, man. Nothing I can say about that. There's nothing else to be said about that. My man Jedi says, look your best work and work out. He said, look your best and work out a little and you will have your pickings. He said, the Filipino girls are 10 times better than the Western women. Yes, I do agree with that 100%. And I will say this, to an extent, this is something that has really intrigued me. This is something that has really been intriguing to me. Some Filipinas actually like chubby guys. Now, when I say chubby, I don't mean fat. You definitely have to take care of yourself. You definitely have to keep yourself in some sort of shape. But they don't mind if you have a little stomach on you, or they don't mind that. Now, again, I mean a little bit. I'm not talking about you have to be extremely limited. You can't have a lot of stomach, but if you have a little stomach, but you maintain yourself pretty well, they kind of like that. They like something they can hug up on. I used to tell myself, or I used to tell people, they'd be like, oh, you're chubby and fat or whatever. I'd be like, look, do you want to hug up next to a teddy bear, or would you rather hug a rock? You got two options. You can have this great looking guy who goes to the gym 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, jacked, cock D's, fucking 8-pack abs. You try to hug up with this dude at night, and he just like hugging up against a rock and shit. Like, what girl wants to lay their head up on a rock and shit? That's what I tell them. What girl wants to lay their head up on a rock? Somebody will. Anyways, there's nothing wrong with being a little bit overweight. Not saying that you can be, like I say, here's the truth. I made a video about this, but I've already, I locked that video in. It was a while back. Probably about a year or so. I said this. I was like, no, yeah. I said you should never let yourself get too far out of hand. If you see my older pictures to where I am now, yeah, you can say I did a little bit of an extreme 180. But let me put it to you like this. I feel like you have a 10 to 15 pound allowance. From the time that you met your girl, this is just for guys. This is hypothetical, just being real. If your girl accepts you when you first meet her, you should have a 10 to 15 pound weight allowance. As in, you shouldn't let yourself, this is just you, never let yourself get outside of that 10 to 15 pound ratio. If you're going to gain weight or if you're going to get comfortable, 10 to 15 pounds should be your limit on how much you let yourself go as you're in the Philippines or, you know, whatever, wherever you're choosing to stay at. So just my philosophy. Just my philosophy. Not everybody's going to agree with my philosophy, but I agree with my philosophy. But yes, you do have to look your best. My man, Mr. Wilson, what's good with you? He says, do you get this, Mike? When I am with my wife there, every time we get around a lot of women, she always trying to hold my hand or hug. Yeah. I mean, that's natural when we go to the mall, but I think I think if the mean one sees somebody looking at me, she might hold on to me a little bit harder. I will say that. I will say that. I will say that. If she see people looking, she might literally look at me in my face and be like, "Who the fuck is she looking at?" She might ask me that question. That's the funniest thing. And I'll be like, "Who?" Because I'm not paying attention to who's looking at me. But if she sees other people staring at me, that girl gonna ask me, "Who the fuck is she staring at?" Number one. And yeah, she might hold on to me a little bit tighter. She won't hug me because we're not really that type of PDA couple. But she might hold on to my arm and shit. But that's probably about as much as we get, especially when it comes to being in public and stuff. Hey man, don't be shut. Shout out to the homie HT, man. That's my guy right there. That's my brother from another, man. Don't matter, man. That boy be getting it in, boy. Don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted, man. His girlfriend is very, very attractive. You understand? So again, don't matter what you look like. You can be charismatic. I mean, like I said, if a girl is willing to accept you from what you look at from the time that they meet you, then you good. Don't ever let yourself get too far out of that. But, you know, maintain that 10 to 15 pounds. That sounds about accurate. My man Jedi says, personally, I'm an ex-MMA guy and still train 3 times a week. It's like candy store when you over there. And to boot, the girls don't even have a Western mindset. And they are very loving. True. If you did MMA, my friend, you are the shit. Okay? I know how MMA guys are. I wish that I practiced MMA. I had a desire to do that. My man Abdul Rahim, man, thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, man, if I did MMA and I looked I think that I would look 10 times, not 10 times better, but I would at least look a little bit better than I do right now. Because that MMA training, punching, kicking, you know, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, whatever it may be, whatever mixed martial art you choose, you're practicing, like I said, you're doing different things. So your body's going to transform to whatever you're working on. So I wish I did it, and I might try to get into it. But if you look no homo, man, but if you look anywhere that I think you might look, man, you're probably one pretty jacked dude. Not like really muscular, but you might be. But if you do that, I would want you on my team simply because, you know, it's always good to have somebody who can fight. Because sometimes I don't like fighting. And it's always good to have somebody in your corner who can kick some ass. So, yeah, we definitely need to make sure we hang. We won't have no issues in the Philippines, though, because nobody wants to fight me. I look intimidating, but I'm not. I'm only 5'8", but I tower over most Filipino dudes. So they don't want that smoke. But at the end of the day, if you see them in bunches and groups, I'm pretty sure they have the thought process that if we work together, we might be able to take this guy. And that's when things get a little bit skittish. That's when things might get a little bit crazy. Guys, make sure you say hello to the mean one. Hey, everybody, make sure you say hello to the mean one. Blah. He says, Western girls have lost it and they bitch on their men as soon as they have them under their thumb. True. And you know what's funny? Can you imagine this? This girl is the Western girl. Extremely overweight. I don't know if you deal with women with kids. Probably you shouldn't. But let's say she overweight and shit. Over there telling you that you fucking looking ugly and shit, but she's over here 300 pounds and stuff, not even remotely trying to take care of herself. And has the audacity to talk shit to you about what you do? Wow. And it's that sense of entitlement that puts them in that position, man. I can't say anything about it. To be honest with you, I'm going to be real with you. The last time I even considered dating a girl from the Western world, I was still in high school, bruh. So all I've ever known all I've ever known for my entire adult life is Filipinas. All I've ever known my entire adult life is Filipinas. So I don't have any interest or desire to really deal with women from the Western world. I mean, I know plenty of them that are really cool, you know, but at the end of the day, they're not the types that I would consider dating because I can see the undertoned feminist type shit that most of them have in them. And because of that, I'm like, even if I was single, bro, I couldn't do it. I'd rather just wait till I come back to the Philippines, man. That's just the way life is, man. The best way to live your life. mm. My girl is right though, man. If she hears somebody saying something racist, because you know Filipinos like to talk that undertone shit. You know, they start speaking in that Visayan when we're in Davao, and they start saying some shit, and she knows what they're saying. She be quick to fight, man. She be quick to fight, bro. That's why I call it a mean one, because she mean on purpose. Sometimes you, like I said, man, I said it in the video, guys. You guys know that, man. Jedi, man, much love to you, brother. Thank you for that. Like I tell people time and time again, if you're going to get with somebody and this is a long-term thing, be with somebody that's going to fight with you and fight for you at the exact same time. I said this in the video and I'll say it one more time. You need to be with somebody that'll fight with you and fight for you at the exact same time. Me and her could have a disagreement out the ass. We could hate each other. But if somebody ever said anything bad about her, or if she hears somebody saying something bad about me, that shit don't fly. It goes both ways for the both of us. So that's pretty much the basic understanding that we've had in this relationship since at least year number 2, probably year 1. It's been that way. So, you know, this is the way the game goes for the both of us. But yo, my man, I think it's I want to say Abdul Rahim, my boy, Mr. Muhammad. I know you told me that you were also a truck driver, man, and you did hit me up in Facebook. I did see your pictures, man. Hands down, man. Congratulations on that one. You definitely turned up in the Philippines, man. I'm not going to talk your business out there, but I see you doing your thing, man. So, hey, as long as you have fun in your trip and you can make it back here, like I said, if you're going to do like a long stint in the Philippines, especially during the winter times, if I can address this real quick, you know, if you're the type of person that's into a business where you can tell when it's going to be your downtime or when you don't want to be in, you know, weather, like bad weather, like winter or whatever and whatnot, I say save all your money, stack your cash, man. Spend those 2 or 3 months, however long winter lasts, you know, because winter is over. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, big salute to my Game of Thrones fans. Winter is officially over. I binge watched Game of Thrones a minute ago with my girl, and it was awesome. So I didn't have any complaints about how it ended. It ended the way it was supposed to, I guess. But yeah, man, I'm a Game of Thrones fan. If you guys don't know that, I've seen them all. Love them. But yeah, man, winter came and winter went. And it was a good season. But like I said, man, if you're the type that travels during the wintertime to get to warm weather climates, save your money up, man, and enjoy yourself, bro. Because I know I do. I know I do. You guys see my videos, man. I have fun. I do what I can. A lot of stuff I don't show. I would love to show you a little bit more of my activities, but I show you guys enough, man. Sometimes you can't put too much information out there, but if there's one thing that I can tell you, and there's a couple of people who can vouch for this. The same Dr. Mike that you see right here, right now, is the same Dr. Mike you're going to get if you meet him in person. I may not be as eccentric, but at the end of the day, I come with the same energy, and it's always going to be positive for sure. But Jedi, man, I'm glad that you enjoy the Doc's videos, man. I'm just doing my thing. Just having fun, man, and I'm glad to be back in the Philippines, and I'm glad to have you guys along for the ride. That is very, very important to me. I can't go on this journey by myself. Why would I? Why would I want to do this by myself when I could share my experiences with those who genuinely love what the Good Doc puts out? So I definitely got some things coming this season, for sure. Season 2, we are back in the mix of it. Right now, we're just taking a break because it's the evening time. But yeah, man, we're going to kick it, and we're going to have the greatest time of all times, for sure. My man Jedi says, I like petite women. He said, and boy, they are becoming a rarity in the United States. Yes, there are some extremely overweight females. I agree. Good luck. Ugh. Yeah. My man says, if I date a Western girl, she'll be a small-framed 8-cup small. Did you really have to detail the type of girl you would date in the U.S., man? But okay. Like I said, we all have our preferences. So to each their own, my friend. To each their own. My man Frederick was good. Oh, my man, he said hi to you. Casey says I was walking to my neighbor's place last night, and there was a girl bitching out her baby daddy outside, loud as hell. He said, "I'm like, why don't you do that inside versus outside? Nobody wants to hear that." Welcome to the wonderful world of the United States of America. Don't ever get it twisted. I love where I'm from. I love it. Being where I am from has allotted me a passport that allows me to travel to damn near any place in the world that I choose to go. So I love being an American. I love being an African American. I love being a Black American. But dealing with the shit that we got to deal with in the United States is the reason why we're leaving. It's the reason we getting out, man. It's the reason we getting out. And that's a shame, man. You gonna talk loud to your baby daddy out there in front of everybody. She probably told him he ain't shit. He ain't doing this. I'm pretty sure that's how the conversation goes, because that's normally how these women talk to their men. You don't get that very much in the Philippines, guys. I'll tell you that right now. You do not get that very much in the Philippines. Very rare. Even if at all, but very rare do you get a woman talking to you like that in the Philippines, bro. My man says, he said, I got to have a woman with some meat on her bones. I'm not cuddling a twig. I do too. I do love a woman who, I don't really care for skinny girls. The only thing that I would say would be the benefit of a skinny girl is even if she does gain some weight, she won't get fat. You know, she'll still be skinny, but she'll just have a little bit of extra meat. So that's kind of the thing with dating skinny girls, I guess. Man. My man Jedi says Walmart has become a circus from 300-pound U.S. dope women. Side note, whale watching. Doc don't need to do no whale watching, bro. I'm good. I'm happy. Why go whale watching when you can go bird watching? I don't. Have you guys ever heard? If you've ever heard of the term bird watching, press 1. I want to see if you guys know what bird watching is, because that is a terminology that I got from I don't know. I think my dad told me that. But if you guys know what bird watching is, tell me. Let me know. Press 1 in the chat right now, because that is what the good dog loves to do. And there is a great place to go bird watching too. Shout out to the homie San Juan Davila. What's good with you, bro? Earl, you are 100% correct, man. The U.S. passport is a good reason to leave. But bird watching is the shit. I enjoy bird watching. Matter of fact, it's fun for me. And there are great places in the Philippines to do so. But yeah, man. I mean, why go whale watching when you can go bird watching? That's what I will say. And I'm going to leave it on that note. All right. I'll give you guys another couple of minutes or so. I'm going to check out. If you guys have any comments, questions, or prefer. Eyes on you, stupid man. He said, my man Jedi says in the Philippines, they have their share of fat ones too. True, but the vast majority are still hot as hell. Very true. I think fat women exist everywhere. It's just that in the United States, they're becoming the normal. In the Philippines, it's not necessarily the rarity, but a larger percentage of Filipinas are not obese. That's the best way for me to put it. So again, guys, if you have any questions, leave them down here in the chat. I'll make sure that I get to them before I leave. But of course, let me go ahead and give my shout outs real quick before I leave. Got to shout out my boy Jedi in the building, man. Thank you for showing love to the good doc. Eyes on my boy Earl Owens. Sam Juan was good with you, man. Casey Hunter. Let me see who else we got in the building real quick. I'm going to run through it. Frederick Mason, appreciate it. Jedi, man, thank you very much for donating to the good doc. My man, Abdul Rahim. Mr. Muhammad, appreciate the love, man. Thank you for being here. Everybody, make sure you say goodbye to the mean one, of course. My man, W.E. Wilson, appreciate you coming through. My man, Terry Edwards, AJ, Stocks, I appreciate y'all coming through. Malcolm, My boy Terry Edwards, Mr. MJ being a place to be. Much love to my man, Mr. BGC Mike, World Traveler, man. Much love to you, brother. Thank you for coming through. I know you are a busy man. Thank you for spending some time with the doc. Surge, man. Much love to you, brother. Thank you for coming through, and thank you for, hooking up the good doc, man. Much appreciated. My man Lim Ko Young, or Young. You know I can't say that, but thank you for showing love, man. My man Kwelong Makulit. I'm sorry if I gave you a nosebleed because I speak very fast. I guess my bad about that. I gotta shout my people out. My man says you're designated shooter, man. Appreciate you coming through and showing love. My man Sean Walters, man. Appreciate you coming through and showing love. Family, Jason Harris. Thank you guys for coming through. My man Reggie Dallas. Appreciate you, Jason Harris. My man NY Mets fan. My man Christopher TX. Frederick Mason from the great state of North Carolina. Hank. I see you in the building. Of course, my guy, Mr. Wonderful, and the homie Pedro and Mr. Akeem James, man. Thank all of you guys for coming through, showing love and supporting the good doc in this journey of his. I'm having fun. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a live stream later. I probably shouldn't because I do not want to oversaturate myself. But when okay, let me say something before I leave real quick. I'm going to say this really, really quick so that you guys understand where I'm coming from. The new update, if you guys haven't noticed, the new posting days for the YouTube videos, the new posting days, Mondays and Thursdays, okay? I will make sure that I give you guys videos on Mondays, and I will make sure I give you guys videos on Thursdays. The same time will always be about 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That will not change. If there's 2 videos coming out that day, the other video will be released at 8 p.m. on that day. But if it's just one video, it's just one video at 8 a.m. Live streams will still be Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I'll make sure that I keep the live streams over the weekend where a lot of people have time to check in and kick it with the good doc. So definitely that's going to be the new schedule, Mondays and Thursdays for videos. So you guys, if you don't get the notifications, some people do not, just come back and check your channel on Mondays and check it on Thursdays, and there should be a video for you guys. I'll make sure that I schedule it like that so you guys have a lot of time to catch up on videos if you miss them. I'm not going to oversaturate it like I did before. I want to give you guys a chance to watch the video, comment, express your thoughts, comments, and concerns. If a live stream is warranted, then we'll do a live on it, but most of the time we can pretty much have our fun that way, okay? Let's see what we got. I gotta make sure I shout people out. I'm sorry. Let me get back. My man calls it the Western fast food diet. Yeah, obesity at its finest. San Juan, you got it right, brother. Earl Owen said I heard about bird watching when I was in Shanghai. Mr. Wonderful, you got me down to a science, my friend. My man Izon says if you are with the P9 and you want boy, stop. I'm not doing this with you today. Surge, man, much love to you, bro. Ian, appreciate you coming through. Jedi, much love to you guys. I'm shouting you out. Everybody's good. NYMS fan, thank you guys for coming through. All right, I see you guys are talking to yourselves, so I think it is time for the good doc to close it out. All right, so the good doc is officially out. At least, Nako, alam, which means we are going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Mahal kita. Bye-bye. Peace.